That was some ASMR from my new wheel. We are very much back for this week's Grand Prix in Singapore. The race is gonna be dry, but qualifying will be very much wet, very wet. Yeah, this week I am alone, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately and unfortunately at the same time. As I don't have my buddy DC in here, as he is driving actually. He's been actually allowed to drive this week. He has been released from his cage. 1.5 season length cage. He's been finally released, at least for this Grand Prix. So he's allowed to drive back in his Aston Martin, where he took his championship back in season 5. Singapore, it's sort of like Monaco, it's just that it's a bit more open. You can actually overtake in Singapore, unlike Monaco where it's almost impossible. But still, Singapore is a difficult track to overtake, and one of my favorites as well. So I'm going to be praising a bit Singapore in here. Once you get the lap done, then it's going to be very satisfying. The first sector, and then the second one as well, and then the third sector. Unfortunately, they just cut that bit of section. Instead of having four more corners, they just decided to cut it, but whatever. Still a good track nonetheless. Creates one spot for overtaking. In terms of the championship, it's gonna be it is looking like this. But first of all, last week's race. F1 Kid takes the Grand Prix win. After, I believe, Frizzy got a penalty. Yeah, Frizzy got a penalty whilst in the lead, as he took the race lead in the closing laps. Got contact with Jono on the start-finish straight, and there his race went, I guess, in terms of with a penalty for Frizzy, and Jono's completely race done. But still, F1 Kid took the race lead, or the race win, with Yingaway finishing P2 and Wave actually finishing in P3. And then the top 10 is Clipsy P4, Vumpy P5, Mighty Boo, Fresh, Frizzy drop down to P8, Ricky and Shizney Riz rounds off the top 10. In the driver's standings, Yingaboy overtakes Chimp after Chimp didn't score any points. Neither did Zinc. Neither Zinc or Chimp got points. And since Yingaboy got that P2, this means that he's leading the Grand Prix. By the way, as well, Trent didn't score any points, who is behind Zinc at the moment. So 3 of the top 4 drivers didn't score any sort of points last week. And our Season 3 champion and the league owner is back in the championship lead. Did he even lead at all this season? I don't actually think so. No, he didn't lead at all. So this is his first time leading a driver standings, probably in a long time. Some pressure probably on him. We're meant to ready up yet. Back in the drivers. Yeah, so Trent as well not scoring any points, and Vumpy with that P5 means that he catches up to Trent a bit. Now he's 2 points behind Trent, and then the rest of the grid is F1 Kid with that race win. And that is his second race win out of the 3 races that he's raced. at this season. He's up to P6, Frizzy P7, Visible P8, Ricky P9, and Clipsy rounds off the top 10 with 35 points. Ricky 37, Visible 42, Frizzy 47, F1 Kid 50, Vampy 56, Trent 58, Zinc 79, Chimp 84, and Young Boy 91. And in the constructors, it's looking pretty one-sided. VCarb, RB, whatever you want to call them. Again, they have a strong lineup like last season. And I mean, in the beginning of the season, you wouldn't really say that, but as it looks like at the moment, it is very, very good lineup. As Racing RB have just a massive lead over Alpine. Racing Bulls 175 points, and Alpine in P2 93 points. That's 82-point gap from one team to another. Racing Bulls are the only team as of right now that have triple digit points in the constructors. Should change after this race. Should change. Alpine 93, like I said. Mercedes dropped down behind Alpine, sticking with 86. Then Williams 82 points, the same amount of points that Red Bull have, 82. In P5, Haas P6, 58. McLaren 7th, 52. Aston Martin 50 in 8th. Ferrari 41. And Kick Sauber 34 points. The last team in the standings. Just gonna make sure that my stream actually works, because I can actually check. People are rating up at the moment. Just gotta quickly double check that it actually works, because if it doesn't, then it's gonna be okay. It actually works for now, at least. Hopefully it should work. But yeah, that was the constructors, drivers, and the race standings, or the race, the last race. And now we go into short qualifying in Singapore. The very wet qualifying in Singapore. That is gonna be very, very wet. I wonder if on my new wheel I will see the telemetry from the other drivers. We'll see. Imagine if I do. Anyways, go into qualifying. Honestly, in the driver standings, it's anyone's game, really. Especially for Zinc and Chimp. Then Trent and Vampy can. Well, they won't take the lead in this Grand Prix, but honestly, it's anyone's game. Still with 4 rounds to go with this one. So this one and 3. What I was trying to say. Yeah, as you can see, it's very, very wet out there. Let me just check how many races are there still. So there's this and 4 races. Okay, so there's 5 races to go. We have still Texas with a sprint, Mexico, Brazil, and Las Vegas. Well, that should be interesting for the final race. Of course, there are going to be some favorites for the pole position. If you're somewhat new, and you don't know who is DC Sazoy, then yeah, I will just spoil that he's very quick. Literally, like the season that he won it, he was winning every single race. He was even winning races from the last position. He was bored out of starting first. He was bored starting first, so he started last and he was still like on the podium places, even won the races. I think he has the like highest, like the most amount of wins in a season at least. I think so. Anyways, he was carrying Aston Martin that season, and he single-handedly won the constructors and the drivers easily, because as well that was F1 Kid had as well pace to match Cezoy, but F1 Kid, just aka F1 Lightning, just didn't have the same consistency as DC. Many drivers going for either inters or wets. Honestly, on this game, it's really like they are pretty much equal in these conditions. In qualifying, it's just really lottery which is faster, as there's Zinc and one of the Red Bulls. That's maybe Jono. Yes, that is Jono. Sort of fighting for position, I guess, in the qualifying. But yeah, some new faces as well. TTR Adrian, and then yeah, that's really it. Honestly, that is really it. And then we have some few reserves. Sir Nikolai, JSTM, Paul, I believe, Lori, TTR Adrian, like I mentioned him. This is DC, and that is it. Already many drivers have started their laps. I didn't at all keep the track of them. Wave hasn't validated his one. Let's look at with Sir Nikolai, 30.593 through the first sector. I already drove this track in the wet conditions in a race in career mode, so I sort of know what the difficulties are gonna be in here. You really have to go with someone's high gears in here. Here, third, I wouldn't really recommend going third in here, unless you have traction control. But yeah, it's gonna be very hard for these guys to manage around this track. Sync up there in front. No, actually not. Where's that? Oh no, that's JSTM. Anyways, I'll look at Sonic Life. 1:14.581. We could see some lap times as well going up into 2 minutes even, if they're gonna go slow enough. That rain looks very pixelated, or the spray. Sonic Light rounding off the 4 penultimate corners, that chicane, and then the 2 final corners, and he's gonna go, at least for now, provisional pole position, 1:43.169. Actually, shouldn't see any 2-minute lap times behind a Haas. I think just started the lap, another one at least. Then Chimp, 44.256, 1.1 seconds behind Sir Nikolai in the V car, but fresh a tad bit slower, 44.328. Zinc 44.440, Jono 46.790, F1 Kid 44.926. By the way, that grip into turn 1, that is gonna catch some people off guard, since that track is somehow, because some of the tracks on this game, actually some of the places on this track are actually covered, and there aren't any sort of spots of rain. I want to go with our owner, Younger Boy, who goes P2, 44.002. But yeah, into turn 1, you see the difference in the tarmac, like when it sort of becomes metallic and then glossy or matte. Anyways, that's the dry patch into turn 1, and that is gonna catch some people off guard, especially in their first runs, unless some people practice for this race in qualifying in the wet. But that definitely catch some people off guard into turn 1. Like, all of a sudden there's so much grip, and then all of a sudden, like, in the entry there's so much grip, and then mid corner or later there is no grip whatsoever, like it would be wet, as Sir Nikolai improves on his time to go into 42s, 42.810. No one is advance in the 43s yet. That will of course change a bit. Have to take a bit of a breather. Wave goes into 43s, but he's a second in behind Sir Nikolai. We're still waiting for DC to do his lap, but he has invalidated his lap, so he's not gonna set any sort of a time. F1 Kid 43.518, Visible 43.842. Behind a Ferrari, those poles probably starting another lap. But yeah, definitely that turn 1 definitely is gonna catch some people off guard, like I said. Younger boy, is he gonna improve? No, it doesn't look like that he's gonna improve. Probably many drivers just decided to... Oh no, I thought that I saw something. Yeah, that turn 1 is gonna definitely catch some people drivers off guard. And the first lap, the second laps out there, they probably just decided to save their ERS for the next run. Sir Nikolai is absolutely flying. He's almost 8 tenths faster to the second sector. So at the moment he could go into 41s even. Hello Clipsy. Yeah, hi Clipsy. Say my name. Yeah, Clipsy, yeah. Sir Nikolai, is he gonna go into 41s? Yes, he does. 41.898. Sir Nikolai is flying. He's not even flying. This is some sort of... He's in my car. To be fair, yeah. I mean, Sir Nikolai is not even flying. He's like out there in space. Chimp goes 43.076, but that's still 1.2 seconds slower than Sir Nikolai. Sir Nikolai maybe has a wet setup, I don't know, but he's on it. He feels these conditions to the absolute limit as of right now. Of course, Vumpy goes P2 42.406, but that's still almost 5 tenths behind Sir Nikolai. Check his files. Yeah, hard to check his files since he's on PlayStation, so good luck finding anything on that, honestly. Although if that was a joke, then I get it, so sort of. Younger boy goes P3, 42.940. Inferno's on teammate. Champ, of course, this is going to be very good information for Younger boy. This is, of course, very important because he needs to be in front of Zing, who is not having, at the moment, good qualifying. But there's still the other half of qualifying, 9 minutes to go. Just under now, 9 minutes to go in this qualifying. Of course, many drivers are going to be improving their times, like Sir Nikolai did. Is Sir Nikolai improving? No, he isn't. He is saving his ERS up, and now we'll see if he's going to be going for another lap, or is he going to go into the pits. Behind him, he has a McLaren going, probably on a flyer. That's not Kid, but he is on a flyer. F1 Kid is on a flyer. 6 tenths faster. Paul not on a flyer. Adrian goes P3, 42.774, so a good first lap for the rookie. F1 Kid goes into the pits. Interestingly, Paul was not improving. Chesney Riz goes P6, 43.152, but demotes him, but gets demoted to P7 as Visselborg goes P2, 42.112. Gets somewhat close to Sir Nikolai, 2.5 tenths behind Sir Nikolai, but Sir Nikolai is already over 1 tenth faster to the first sector. This man is on an absolute mission. He's a reserve, but he's on an absolute mission. He's driving that car like Flash. Jono in the meantime went P5, 42.815. Let's look at DC. He's just started his lap. Sir Nikolai, I want to see how his lap is. No, he abandons it. He has abandoned his lap. This boy's gonna go for no, he's not going for another lap. Adrian, no. Paul, maybe. I don't know. I mean, his fuel to the end of the lap is gonna be enough. I want to see DC 30.468. I mean, he's gonna be sliding all over the place. You need to sort of slide in these conditions. but controllably. I was gonna say that he's sliding all over the place, but you know. Zinc goes in front of Sir Nikolai, 41.584. The first one to go actually in front of Sir Nikolai. I don't. I completely missed what you said, Clipsy. I'm not really much paying attention. Sir Nikolai goes into the pits. Maybe he's trying to change into the intermediates because they might be now faster, way faster than the wets, as the track is getting ran on. Fresh goes P5, 42.593. Yeah, Sazoi, where is he gonna finish? Goes P4, 42.256. His first actual lap on this track. And he's gone P4. Of course, I mean, he's not been rusty. He just hasn't been allowed to drive in HOR. But at the moment, still P4. It's still a good lap from DC, at least how I see it, at least. Wave not improving as he's invalidated. JSTM not improving at all. Yeah, almost everyone is on the inters. As Trent goes P5, 42.297. We have 5 Italians in a row. If Zing sets on inters, my coach Nico will get pole. If he sets it up on inters, trust me, well, something. Yeah, he probably will, but we'll see. Anyways, 5 Italians in a row. If Zinc would have not been there, then it would have been a top 5 made of the Italians, and all of the Italians that we have, unless Lori is Italian, then I know, yeah, Ricky. But Ricky is not driving at the moment, so we can ignore him. Sorry, Ricky. Sorry, Ricky. We can sort of ignore him in this scenario, since he retired himself. Yeah, I forgot that he has a quali ban. I completely forgot he had a quali ban. Yeah, so we can probably ignore him. In this equation, P2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is made out of Italians. All of the Italians that have made a lap. That's it. And we'll see if what's his time gonna be, and what is he gonna do in this lap. 6.5 tenths faster through the first sector already a bit sliding into turn 7. I mean, he's going very low on very low gears. He's going very low gears. He's sliding all over, although to be fair, you need sort of sliding, but DC is going very low gears. I don't even know how the hell is DC going second gear in some of these corners. I could even barely exit out of them in third. Anyways, DC 1.7 seconds, or 1.7 seconds faster than his previous time. At the moment, he's going for a almost, if he's gonna do a very good third sector, then he could go into 140s even. He's gonna go into 140s, maybe even 39s. No, it's not gonna be 39s, but 140.133 by the Season 5 champion. But we have to remember that the track is getting a bit drier as everyone is running on it. And Zinc, not everyone has made their final laps. DC, he needs to recoup his ERS and do yet another lap. Or he can actually, because he has enough fuel. But anyways, you get the point. Chimp goes P2, 41.028, but it's nowhere near the level of DC's lap. It's 9 tenths slower to DC. Whistlepore is on a lap, although he has a bit of traffic in front of him. He has a lot of traffic actually in front of him. But yeah, Riz goes P5, 41.818. Adrian goes P3, 41.437. So there's plenty of drivers still on their laps that I'm not following on, but I'm just following Whistlepore. Whistlepore 3/10 down in time through the first sector, and look at this train and traffic of cars. Clipsy, not now, after qualifying, okay? After qualifying, like 2 to 3 minutes. Then ask me. Then get the question out again. Because I'm not looking at Twitch at all. Visible. So it's not looking... I mean, he's not even using his ERS. No, and he has left the session. At disconnection for Visible, unfortunately. So he won't be able to make another lap. We'll see from other drivers. I mean, there are way too many drivers out there on track. And who I would need to look at. Let's look at Jonas. Jonas a bit sliding into turn 2. Kind of want to go on board with Sir Nikolai and Zing, but they're still not on their respective flying laps. Although to be fair, now Sir Nikolai is on his flying lap, so we'll look at with Sir Nikolai as that's who the hell went up in front. I have no clue. Anyways, Vumpy, where is he gonna go? He's gonna go P2, 40.432. Younger Boy went 140.637. That's who went up through the order. So Nikolai spun into turn 2 and 3. So he is going to be out. And there is a Sauber of who? That's Constella, who he's made contact. What has happened there between Constella and Sir Nikolai? Sir Nikolai's qualifying is over right there. Sink is improving by half a second to the first sector alone. DC has invalidated, so his qualifying is over as well. Bumpy is improving, but there's no but. Let's look at Zink. Let's go with Zink. But like I said, Sir Nicholas qualifying is over. He was rapid, but it's not getting anywhere for him. Wave P4 40.717, Fresh 42.041, Jono P6 41.426. Sir Nikolai is officially done, and he's gonna be dropping down places like from a cliff. Zink is improving by 7.5 tenths up on his time, but at the moment it's not good enough to go professional pole position. It's far from it. JSTM, where is he gonna go? He is staying in P18, 44.088. Chimp, P3, 40.590. Younger Boy stays 4th. And Vumpy goes professional pole position. Zink, P3, 40.278. But Vumpy goes professional pole position, 39.881. And first one to go into 39s. Behind, Laurie finishes his lap. Trent goes P8, 41.280. Frizzy, where is he gonna go? He stays 17th as he invalidated. And F1 Kid stays in 16th as he has invalidated. Absolute chaos in this final part of qualifying. And the grid is all over the place. Bumpy is on pole position here in Singapore. DC P2, Zink P3, the two V Corps of Chimp and Yingaboy in P4 and P5. Wave P6, Adrian, the only one who has made his laps, all of his laps on the wets. Trent P8, Paul P9, Jono P10, Chesney Reason P11. Sir Nikolai, who was rapid all over the qualifying, he is only in 11th. That is mad. Clipsy, you can now ask me the question. Anyways, I want to get this whole thing. Actually, Sir Nikolai is 12th, Fresh 13th, Visiblebor only 14th, Laurie 15th, F1 Kid only 16th, Frizzy only 17th, JCM 18th, Consola 19th, and Ricky missing out of all of this is gonna start last here in Singapore. I mean, what an absolute crazy qualifying this was. Many drivers who are fast, or who are fast, not normally. Poland, Clipsy, Poland. Prizzy, F1 Kid, and Sir Nikolai. So Sir Nikolai was showing pace in here that he can actually do he could actually do a very good lap, and then F1 Kid and Frizzy are overall fast. I'm not saying that Sir Nikolai is slow, but you know he was showing good pace. He's down in 12th, and then F1 Kid and Frizzy are 16th and 17th. So, that's gonna be a very difficult race for those three. I answered you. And steering wheel. And the gloves as well. I don't have any sort of gloves. The steering wheel is a SF1000 add-on. And I answered your question about what country am I from. I'm from Poland. And I'm not and I'm not looking at this from Twitch, mate. So I don't see the previous thing what you asked me at that flipping essay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's gonna be lights out now. And away you go here in the Singaporean Grand Prix. Vumpy gets a very good start. The DC doesn't get a good start. His old rival Zink is gonna get him into turn 1. DC drops down a position. Chimp is dropping down places, drops down to 10th. Horrible start from Chimp. The championship contender for this season is down in 11th. Horrible start from the championship contender. In the meantime, Frizzy has moved up to P14. A good amount of places for him. There is yellows. That's F1 Kid. Something has happened to him. Spun on the little kink into turn 7. If I give you $200, will you buy me a Polish Ferrari? No. I won't. Yingaboy up to P4 as he did take advantage from his fallen teammate. Then Paul gained 2 positions. Jono gained 2 positions. Many drivers have gained many positions, as for example Trent and Chimp have fallen down many places. Dropped down 7 places and 8 places for between Chimp and Trent. Behind, Chesney Riz is getting attacked by Frizzy into turn 15, 16 probably. And is getting attacked into these final 2 chicanes. Yes, he is, and there's a bit of contact between them. And Frizzy gets himself in front. Pole up 39.88, but that was in rain. Mind that was in rain. Anyways, Adrian's good position in P5. Meanwhile, behind Sir Nikolai's fighting Fresh, and he is in front of Fresh. Chimp as well is trying to overtake Fresh. Fresh is trying to overtake Sir Nikolai into turn 5. And is that going to end up in contact? It didn't, at least in sort of any huge contact. Chimp is trying to get Fresh into turn 7 now on the inside, but he cannot get the run on him into turn 7, so he has to settle in for P17 at the moment, but he sends it into turn 8, but he backs out of it. So in the end, he has to settle for P11 for now, at least. Let's go to tires. Almost everyone on the mediums, besides Laurie, Consela, who are on the softs, and Ricky and Adrian, who are on the hard competitive tires. Everyone else on the mediums. Those softs are going to be very interesting at the moment. Everyone has DRS besides JSDM, who doesn't have the DRS on Constella, as he is 1.7 seconds behind him. Laurie is overtaking Chesney Riz, but in front, Zink is he trying to overtake Sivampy into the final 2, or the chicane? No, he's not. He's not trying to overtake Zink now into the 2 final corners. I guess 21 and 20 and 21. Zink fastest lap 30.7, but Adrian takes it 30.116. Adrian is the fastest driver overall in this race. Trent moves up to P15, overtaking Laurie. In front, Zink is very, very close behind Vumpy. DC doesn't seem to have that good of a pace. Zink Is he gonna go for a move on Vumpy? Yes, he does. Into turn 6 and into turn 10 should be having a easy move. Into turn 7, yes, he does. He is easily in front of him. Meanwhile, behind, Frizzy's overtaken Fresh into turn 7 as well. And he gets a move done, so he's up to P11. Chimp is in P10. So Nikolai is up to P8 at the moment. As things stand, Zinc should be our new championship leader. Should be. Although I'm not looking at the championship chart, so I don't know. The gap from Zinc to Younger Boy is about 16 points. So actually, Zinc might not be actually the quickest, or he's not gonna be leading the championship. Anyway, Zinc is extending the lead from himself to Vumpy. The gap is almost 8 tenths, almost over 8 tenths, almost into 9 tenths. But Vumpy still has the DRS. Zinc, new fast lap, 29.867. He's absolutely flying. He tried to break that DRS as behind. Jono has spun in the final corner. Such an easy place to lose the rear, and he has front wing damage. He has to go full lap with that front wing damage, unfortunately. And his race is, well, this situation in his race is like this. If there's no safety car, then well, his race is done. Sonic Light gets in front of Pole, and Frizzy overtakes Chimp. So Frizzy up to P9, recovering from his horrible qualifying, where he qualified P16. Now he's up into P9. In front, Zinc. What is happening to Zinc? Zinc! What? Of course it is lag. Of course it is lag. For Christ's sake. Of course it... This game. Yeah, anyways. Zinc in... Ooh. I think Zinc is lagging a lot. I think Zinc is lagging. Could be Zinc, but it could be just me. But I think it's just Zinc, since it's only happening to Zinc. Anyways, Vumpy, does he have the DRS? No, he doesn't have the DRS. He does not have the DRS on Zinc. So, but he's closing. But this is happening as well to them in front. Zinc is having internet issues. I think Zinc has internet issues at the moment. Anyways, Vumpy won't have the DRS. DC is gonna get an easy overtake into turn 6 on the inside. That's a you never know into turn 6 where you can overtake anyone. But anyways, DC is back into into P2. Wave 3 seconds in the meantime, and Consular and Jono have pitted. Jono, of course, front wing damage, and Consular, I don't actually know. Zinc, yeah, this is connection. This is a massive lag from Zinc. No one this is happening. This is only Zinc. I guess thankfully for me. Anyways, so Nikolai has sent it a massive one, probably on wave into that hairpin that is turn 13, I believe. Yeah, turn 13. And he is in front of wave. So he's up to P16, 6 from P12 where he started. So as well, Sonic like great recovery in these first opening laps to actually be somewhat in the top of the race. Adrian as well, 3 seconds. Frizzy as well has done beautifully in the opening laps, as Jono has again done it, this time on the exit of turn 9. Does have front wing damage? Doesn't seem like he has any front wing damage, but honestly, for Jono, the situation is like this. He just needs to pray for a safety car. He just needs to drive and pray for a safety car. Laurie loses a place to F1 Kid. I mean, losing a place to F1 Kid is very easy. F1 Kid is one of the fastest drivers in here, but he has just some... F1 Kid has some bit of unluck. He's been a bit unlucky in this race at the moment. Zinc, that's actually Zinc losing time to DC, it's... No, it's not. It's again Zing with the internet, with his internet. Or it could be a genuinely... Or it could be a genuine... I mean, I don't know... Is this a desync for me? Or what? But... I have absolutely no clue. This is very hard for me to look at. Jono is gonna pit. Yeah, he's gonna retire in the pits. So our first retirement is Jono. So out of the full grid, we have only 19 drivers in this Grand Prix. At the moment, Zink is still leading, even though he has very weird connection issues. Joe's experiencing as well, so it's just not too... Okay, so thank you. DC's race engineer, Bob. Thank you. That it's not just me. Thank you. That is just not me. Finally. Oh, there's a move from Adrian on Yengaboy, but he backs out of it. Just tried to scare him. So, it is probably actually just Zink's connection issues. Or I should say internet issues. So, yeah. This is, of course, very distracting for the drivers behind. Especially directly behind, who is DC. So, yeah. This is very interesting. What is going on for Zing, but it seems like it has been resolved somehow. It seems like it hasn't. There hasn't been an issue for him at the moment. So, yeah. Anyways, behind Adrian is trying to get himself in front of Yengaboy into the two almost final corners, and now into the final corners. Yengaboy still in front of Adrian. Adrian is gonna have the DRS, but as well Yengaboy has the DRS. Adrian not going for a move. Adrian has pretty much the same amount of ERS as Yengaboy. Yengaboy goes a bit wide into turn 1. Sir Nikolai must lose it on the exits behind. Sir Nikolai has more ERS, but the gap has risen a bit since his mistake. And now Yengaboy has a DRS, but as well Adrian and uses a bit of his ERS, goes side by side with him into turn 6, and they're still side by side. Yengaboy still side by side with him into turn number 7. There's a bit of contact. Yengaboy was a bit sideways. Sir Nikolai had a good opportunity to try and overtake Yengaboy, but he didn't do it, and it is Yengaboy behind Adrian. Was I just saying things, or Yengaboy had front wing damage? Probably I was just saying things. I'm just saying things. But Yengaboy has not that good of a pace at the moment. He has lost that 1 second to Adrian immediately. So he probably won't have the DRS. No, he doesn't have the DRS. So, yeah, Yengaboy Adrian doesn't seem like he has a lot of pace. That's why everyone is overtaking him. Sir Nikolai, is he gonna go for the move? No, he won't go for the move. Excuse me. Into turn 16 and 17. Yeah. 16, 17. Let's just make it that it's 16, 17, alright. In front, not much happening. Adrian is right behind Vampy, but Adrian has to remember that he has a 3 seconds. Visible goes into the pits, and F1 Kid as well goes into the pits, so a bit of an undercut from Visible and F1 Lightning. F1 Kid, a runners-up many times. Sir Nikolai went for the move on Yengaboy, and he has made it done. And Vampy and Adrian side by side into turn 7, but Vampy on the outside, defending himself well, at least what I saw. And is still in P3, but Adrian seems like... Oh, there's a bit of a massive hit for Vampy on that wall, but Adrian seems like he has plenty of pace on those hards currently, as the mediums are getting a bit slower. And in the later stages of the race, he is going to have that upper hand in the pace-wise. But of course, with those hards, he's going to have to go a bit longer. So everyone behind him... most of the grid behind him that he sees as close. Wave, as in the meantime, Wave's teammate Console has just gone straight on. I see in turn 7, Adrian went for the move on Vampy into turn 16, and he has made it done, and he is up into podium places. Of course, he has 3 seconds, but on track, he is at P3. Chimp and Pole seems like they go into the pits. Yes, they go into the pits, so they go for an undercut as well. Console 10 seconds for cutting a corner. Interesting. Anyways, DC is close to Zing, but it doesn't seem like that he wants to overtake Zing. He just wants to run with Zing so that Adrian isn't going to have the DRS on them. But Adrian is having amazing pace, but of course you have to remember that Zing and DC have amazing pace too by themselves. So there's going to be very interesting what they will see, do, whatever. Console, I think he has given up on this race. No, he's still driving. He's still driving, so he's got half a wing left, but he's still driving. He's still driving. Adrian has caught up to DC and Zink already. And reminder, he's on the hard compound tire. And at this stage, I mean, the hards are going to be somewhat equal to, or somewhat close between each other, mediums and hards. But Adrian is having, he is absolutely flying at the moment. He's flying out there. Vampy won't have the DRS actually on Adrian, but it doesn't matter since he goes into the pits, goes for the undercut himself too. Of course, don't want to speed into the pits. Wave as well goes into the pits. On this game, undercut is a massive thing. If you undercut someone one lap, then you can say goodbye or hello to like a 3-second gap. Okay, 3 seconds may be a bit too much, but like a 2 seconds or a 1 second gain over the car in front. So yeah. Anyways, Adrian is very, very close behind DC now. He's just gonna have to see where is he gonna try and overtake. But all of these drivers in front have high amounts of ERS. DC has 100% of ERS. Of course, not every single time, but he pretty much has 100% of ERS. Visible overtakes Paul in the meantime. But Adrian has high amounts of ERS himself too. Not as high, but high as well. He's using a bit of ERS. He's looking for a gap. He's trying to look somewhere. Maybe DC is going to make a slight mistake. Maybe just tad a bit slow on the exit. And that's when Adrian is going to go full commit to it and try and go for the move. None of these two in front are going for the pits. Of course, we are not looking at Adrian since he's on the hard, so he's going to go long. Yengaboy goes into the pits in the meantime, as well as Frizzy. Trent, the same thing. Ricky shouldn't go. JSTM will stay out too. Vampy, at the moment, he's the highest driver who has pitted. Of course, at the moment it is Yengaboy, but Vampy will overtake Yengaboy easily on this undercut. There is Yengaboy, and Yengaboy still has that weird okay, I will make sure, Console. Yengaboy still had that weird pit exit to go through, and he is behind Wave even. So this is perfect example of an undercut. Even Visilbor is in front of Chimp and Yengaboy and Wave and close to Vampy. Visilbor was not that close, and now he's 2 seconds in front of Chimp. Now Jono has left the session. But yeah, I mean, that is a perfect example of a good undercut. Sir Nikolai is trying sort of to catch up to these three in front. Yellow's behind. That is a Ferrari. That is Pole going slow. And that is front wing damage through turn 11 and 12 for the Ferrari. We don't know what has happened to him, but he has got front wing damage nonetheless. Adrian in front is still behind DC. Still behind him. He's just trying to look for the gap, but at the moment with DC having the DRS himself, it is very hard to overtake the Aston Martin in front. And of course, these two in front that Adrian seizes, they are quick as well. They are as quick as him. Maybe not at the moment, because the mediums are just falling more than the hards. So hards are faster and faster. But we'll see. Is Adrian maybe gonna try and go for a move somewhere? Maybe into this hairpin even. But I don't think we'll see a move from Adrian anytime soon. Especially into the hairpin. But Sir Nikolai is somewhat benefiting from this, although he lost 4 tenths there. Adrian close, but not close enough for a move. I mean, of course, DC doesn't want to go for a move on Zink, because that can go for a move for Adrian, who is going for a move on DC into turn 16, and he's on the inside. Zink was a bit wide, but anyways, DC and Zink are side by side. None of these go into the pits. Actually, DC goes into the pits as he sees that Adrian is side by side with him. So Adrian goes into the pits. Adrian technically overtook DC on track. Sir Nikolai as well goes into the pits. Fresh stays out for another lap on those mediums, just trying to see if there's gonna be a safety car at this part of the race. JSTM as well goes into the pits. Of course, hard competitive tires. Ricky stays out. Vumpy should be in front of all of these two by a couple of seconds, but of course, DC and Sir Nikolai have few lap newer tires. In the meantime, in front as well, I didn't realize that Adrian has overtaken Zink, and so now this means that Adrian can just push flat out now that he has clean air, and he's of course gonna try and build up the gap to from Zink to himself. Over a second he will of course try, or that is the minimum, and then just try and build up the gap as high as possible. Zink will probably pit this lap since he seizes. He saw that DC pitted this lap. Vumpy is going to be the sort of net race leader. I don't think he's the net race leader since DC and Sir Nikolai are behind them. But of course, we'll see what when DC is going to overtake Visilbor. Visilbor has 5 laps older tires than DC. Of course, those 5 laps aren't as much of wear. They don't bring that much wear. Fresh stays out yet another lap on those mediums. He's trying to push them, maybe for the softs even. Zink goes into the pit for the hard combat tire, of course. Consular, 3 seconds again. Zink is gonna fall behind Vumpy. Visilbor, he's gonna fall behind DC. We'll see if he's gonna be behind Sir Nikolai though. Is he going to be behind Sir Nikolai? Zink. Yeah, easily behind Sir Nikolai. Maybe even behind Wave as Wave tries to go around the outside. Zink got that awkward exit. And now Chimp is in front of him. Although they're side by side though. Into turn 5. And Chimp still there. Little bit of contact between them. And now Zink is going to try and be in front of Chimp into turn 7. And he is in front of Chimp into turn 7. But Zink has gotten himself in a horrible position where he's behind Wave and he's going to be losing ground to Sir Nikolai and most importantly DC, because DC is technically from that top 3 our race leader, but overall it is Vumpy who is the race leader. DC shouldn't have a problem of catching up to DC at all, but we'll see just when DC is gonna catch up to Vumpy, and if he's gonna catch up at all, of course, that is gonna be the first question. Adrian, of course, staying out on those hards. He's gonna have to push on them hards like crazy on these laps, of course, not trying to not get a track limit warning. Fresh goes into the pit. Ricky stays out, of course. He's gonna stay out as long, probably as long as Adrian. But Adrian is cooking at the moment. He's cooking. Fresh is going to lose plenty of positions. But of course, he's going to have the freshest hards out of everyone. Hards. I had to specify. Of course, Adrian and Ricky are going to have even fresher tires. But those are mediums. When Vampy is going to catch up to Ricky, I don't think he's going to defend himself that much. Wazink goes up the inside of Wave into turn 7, but Wave, is he gonna not fight this? He won't fight it. Frizzy behind is trying to attack Chimp into turn 8, but Chimp is still in front into turn 9, and Frizzy's gonna go for a move into turn 10. No, he won't. So Frizzy has to stay behind the V-Carb. The V-Carbs are not doing that good at the moment. And P9 and P11, of course, Ricky hasn't pitted yet, so that's going to be P8 and 10, but that's still only 5 points for the V-Carbs. Frizzy is going to go for the move on Chimp, and yeah, around the outside, there's space, just enough space, but Chimp, I mean, he left just enough space, and Chimp gets a bit of a wobble on the exit. Now Frizzy's trying to try and get a move on Chimp, but not enough ERS for Frizzy at all. Means that he can't get a move on Chimp whatsoever. Sir Nikolai, new fast lap, 29.757. Whistleborg is still close to DC. Vumpy is catching up to Ricky, but behind him, DC is catching up to him. So, this is going to be a bit interesting between these three. Ricky, Vumpy, and DC. Ricky is going to be the one that is going to be defending, and the slowest one out of these three. Whistleborg not close enough to overtake DC, but that was an easy guess. Vumpy, he's gonna have to catch up to Ricky as quickly as possible, ASAP, so that Ricky maybe can let Vumpy through, and then Ricky can actually hold up DC a bit. Yeah, just hold up DC a bit, although Vumpy isn't catching up to Ricky that much. Compared to the tire wear that they have in difference, and DC is already right behind Vumpy. So Vumpy, DC could go for a move. Vumpy, a bit of a mistake in turn 13, and now DC is he gonna go for the move? No, he won't. He even sees that Vumpy has a flashing red light, but he doesn't want to go for the move. In the meantime, behind DC, Sir Nikolai goes for the move. So DC needs to go for a bit of a move soon. Ricky goes to the pits. Adrian, the only one that has to pit at the moment. Sir Nikolai is going to be a bit of a warning for DC as Vumpy goes wide in turn 1. Cut the turn 2. And is in front of DC, but DC of course would have been behind him, but now he is going to be getting overtaken by DC if everything is getting to plan for DC, and DC is in front of Vumpy into turn 7, and so DC is our net race leader in this Grand Prix. Pole gets a 3 seconds. Sir Nikolai sends it down inside, but the DC as well lets everyone through. That's not expected. Vumpy overtakes Sir Nikolai. What on earth has happened here? Okay. DC, I guess, just decided that I want to play a bit of fun in here and let everyone through. Bit of new challenge, but he doesn't realize that Adrian is a new challenge in here. Sir Nikolai dives down inside on Vumpy into turn 13. So, 14, sorry, Zink 3 seconds, so he's not gonna gain that much in this pack. Adrian is still out there on those hearts, trying his best. He sees us that behind, they are fighting. So this is everything, this is good. This is good for him. The gap is increasing little by little. DC goes wide. Maybe he has some issues. Bob, the engineer, can you tell me something if he's just playing or does he have some issues? Because, you know, this is not season 5, this is season 7 where he actually has some competition at the moment, and this is competition in a track where it's not easy to overtake on. So I'm a bit confused in here. Anyways, Zinc, making sure you're watching. I mean, that's, yeah, as well. So Nikolai still in front of Vampy. Vampy, of course, is benefiting from this, as well as Whistlebore. These two are benefiting a lot from this. But of course, Adrian is a bit benefiting from this. Well, actually not really benefiting, since they're not fighting. If they would have been fighting, then that would have been a benefit. Is Adrian gonna pit now? A bit of trouble with these tires. I thought that Adrian had a puncture, but now it's just the shadow. So yeah, anyways, Adrian still out there. Is he trying to go for the softs? And he goes wide into turn 1. 3 seconds yet again for him. Behind yellows, that's JSTM spins in the on the bridge. And that's front wing damage for him. Whistlebore behind, he loses places. Spun on the exit out of the final corner. Whistlebore, his chances of having a good result in this race are shattered completely. And the defending world champion, his season is an absolute nightmare at the moment in the Red Bull. His season is an absolute nightmare. And he's going to finish probably outside of the points. In the meantime, Sir Nikolai is catching up to Adrian. Vampy goes a bit wide into turn number 7. Trent, 3 seconds. But of course, in front, Adrian needs to sort of pit ASAP. People see behind him that they are catching, and that Adrian has 6 seconds. This is of course everything benefiting for the drivers behind. So I mean, Sir Nikolai 19 seconds, 19.0, and it might be even down to 18. There it is, 18. Vampy slow out of the hairpin, and so he is outside of that DRS. Yeah, Nikolai could actually win this race. Whistlebore 3 seconds. Whistlebore, he's not having great at the end. Adrian's still out there. He's still out there. Adrian is still out there. He's just trying to push those hards for the softs, I guess. I mean, this strategy from Adrian is absolutely crazy. So Nikolai is pulling a gap on Vampy to 2 seconds. DC needs to sort of get a move on, but he can't really do it here, since, I mean, he of course wants the DRS into the longest straight. He's staying out, I reckon. He cannot stay out when you haven't pitted at all. He hasn't pitted at all. He needs to pit. Ricky fastest lap. DC overtakes Vampy easily, but Zinc as well overtakes Vampy into turn 7. No, he did not pit lap 1. He did not pit lap 1. So he needs to pit. He needs to pit, and it's not like can he bring his tires to the end? No, he needs to. He's gonna get disqualified if he. I thought he'd pit him. Yeah. I mean, I'm not getting angry at you. Calm. Laurie and Gosla. Laurie sends a very audacious one into Adrian. What? Oi! That was a very interesting pit entry into the pits. Anyways, Adrian finally has pitted. He might get a 5 second for that. That's in the entry. Anyways, softs for Adrian. That's what I thought. Since he went so long, Nikolai inherits the race lead. By the way, I remind you, he started 12th. 1-2-TH. Yeah, he should have pitted 3 laps ago. That as well. And for the mediums, Adrian drops down to 9th. He's 3 seconds behind Consola. That's a front wing on for Consola. Probably Laurie and Consola fighting. By the way, fun fact, Rebels are not scoring any points. But yeah, Sir Nikolai on for at least P2 at the moment. He is going at least for P2. You don't know what DC could do in this race, but at the moment, Sir Nikolai is going for the race win. bit of a mistake there in those couple of corners, and DC is within that 1 second. So Nikolai crushed under pressure, and so DC has caught the gap from 1.3 seconds to 4 tenths in just a couple of corners, because Sir Nikolai made a mistake in those previous in turn 11 and turn 12. Konsla goes into the pits, and he's gonna probably retire. No, he even maybe misses the pits completely. He's just gonna drive. Anyways, Sir Nikolai still, the minimum that he can get if everything goes right for him is a P number 3, as behind Pole spins. That's front wing, another front wing in this race gone, at least damaged. Fix your game. You mind telling Visible? You mind telling us what has happened? Thanks. DC close behind Sir Nikolai. Konsla retired on the track. He retired on track. That's a VSC deployed, as behind Chimp and Frizzy were battling out, and Wave as well. This is kind of fusion on track, but Konsla is out of the race. He has completely retired. This is a interesting one in here. This is this glitch. Well, lovely, they have this glitch. So they're gonna lose plenty of time. Adrian is gonna lose plenty of time. Damage there for someone. That could have been Yenga Boy. I don't know, but they have probably got this glitch where, I don't know, that there's definitely some debris there. That's Yenga Boy. His front wing is damaged, and Adrian is losing plenty of time because of this. He's lost plenty of time because of this. And with the VSC, probably for them, I mean, they have big ass gap to catch up. Laurie retires in the pits. I mean, these guys have a big ass gap to catch. Big ass delta. When is the safety car gonna end? Of course, for these cars, of course, it's gonna be as long as possible. Konsla leaves the session, of course. Wave 3 seconds under the VSC. They have somewhat caught up to that delta, but still the gap is 7 seconds, or actually 5.8 between Chimp and Vampy. Adrian has suffered a lot. Yenga Boy is a bit of defending from Adrian, but Adrian, I think he's gonna get an easy overtake on Yenga Boy. Yenga Boy has no although Yenga Boy is actually defending with his ERS, but I think Adrian is gonna send it down inside into turn 7, and he's gonna get an easy overtake into turn 7 up into P8. Of course, he has that 6-second time penalty, but he of course needs to build up the gap to the cars behind. He has the tires to do them, but of course that's gonna be the question. Where is he gonna overtake all these drivers? He needs to plan these out. He needs to plan these out perfectly if he wants a good result in this Grand Prix. Wave doesn't have a DRS, so it sort of helps. Adrian is gonna look for down inside into turn 14. He's gonna send it. Frizzy leaves the space, and with those softs, Adrian gets a superb exit on those softs compared to Frizzy's old hards, and so Adrian is up to P7 from absolutely with a move from absolutely nowhere, and now he's gonna get easily a wave on this straight with a DRS, and so Adrian has gone from P8 to P9 in just one sector alone, and now with these softs he's gonna build up a gap to Paul again, damaged front wing. Adrian is gonna build up a gap between himself and Wave, so that Wave actually cannot overtake Adrian, but Wave is still gonna have that DRS, and Frizzy is gonna try and send it on him. Around the outside, it's gonna be a move. So there's a bit of contact between them. They're going side by side into turn 8. Wave close. Squeezed Wave in Frizzy into the wall. Yenga Boy retires on track, and that's a VSC. Out again. I think Yenga Boy hit that I think I know what's happened for Yingaboy. Yingaboy hit that little gap, or sort of the wall gap, whatever it is, that sort of opens up, and I mean, it's very hard to say it, but basically, imagine into that previous corner where Trent went. It's basically the same like that, but it's just the gap is a bit smaller. Basically, he hit a wall, and there was a slight sort of misalignment where basically there's a misalignment, and he hit that misalignment, and so he's out of this race, and the championship leader is gonna probably not gonna be the championship leader. Sir Nikolai and DC, they're all playing they're it seemed like that they're playing the Irish chicken, but it could be just that it was just all a bit awkward in here. Anyway, Sir Nikolai's trying to defend from the DC and Zinc, but they're all going for it. DC on the inside, but it doesn't have his wheel on the inside, but somehow DC still keeps his P2. I don't know how have these three kept their positions where they are. Frizzy up to P7 over second wave as of right now, but they're going side by side into turn 8 again. Wait, again on the inside, and they're side by side into turn 9, but Frizzy loses his rear going into turn 9, and he hits the wall. I don't think he has damage, at least that's I can see, but he is still behind Wave. Of course, Wave has that penalty of 3 seconds, 6 seconds actually, but of course he would want to be close to Adrian, who has overtaken Chimp a long time ago. Now he is trying to catch up to Vumpy. Meanwhile in front, DC tried to go for a move on Sir Nikolai into the chicane, final chicane of this track, but he failed terribly, and he's now behind Zinc. Zinc has a penalty though, so this is very terrible news for DC, and beautiful news for Sir Nikolai. Of course, it will be worse news when he finds out that Zinc, I don't know how, but somehow he's gonna get that penalty off. Anyways, he would probably want to be in front of Zinc, but Zinc is gonna go and try and go around the outside of Sir Nikolai into turn 7, and he does go around the outside, but Zinc goes a bit wide, and Sir Nikolai gets him into turn 8, and he does get him, but they're still side by side into turn 9, and still Sir Nikolai is in front of Zinc. Zinc's having a bit of a look, but anyways, Zinc still in P2, and these are still fighting for this P7 like it's for a championship, and now Frizzy gets a run on Wave into this corner, and it's gonna be bits of contact, or a slight bit of contact is going side by side, and there's the wall, and Frizzy sends spinning around into the bridge, got squeezed into that wall on the outside by Wave, and Wave probably gonna get pen probably for that. I mean, the stewards are gonna see that, and of course in the tickets, F1 Kid is trying his everything to sort of get some few points, but Fresh is trying to get him into 16 and 17, but F1 Kid is still in front. Adrian, another 3 seconds. He's got 9 seconds of penalties, the most of everyone. As of right now, he has the most out of everyone, so it doesn't matter what he's gonna do with those. Anyways, in front, Zinc is in front of Sir Nikolai. Sir Nikolai is gonna be inside into turn 8 of Zinc. A bit of contact between them. Zinc is gonna be on the inside now into turn 9, and should be in front. In the meantime, the two Italians maybe make contact into turn 9. I don't know, but so Sir Nikolai went wide into turn 9, but he's still in front of DC. Meanwhile, behind, F1 Kid is still battling Fresh and Ricky for P8. Fresh goes through F1 Kid, and so he's up to P8. F1 Kid is long on those hards, but I think he has to let sort of maybe let through sort of let refresh. Anyways, in front, DC in front of Sir Nikolai. Yellow's in front, technically. That's JSTM spinning, but that DC is gonna try to take Zinc into turn number 1. Is it gonna be DC's first win of the season? Yeah, the first win of the season, and his first win after 1.5 seasons put in a cage. Or is it going to be Sir Nikolai's win from P12? We'll see, but DC is going for the move on Zinc into turn 7, and Zinc has got overtaken by DC into turn 7. Meanwhile, behind, Adrian is fighting with Vampy. Vampy doesn't need to really fight Adrian, really, since Adrian has got 9 seconds, and no way in hell Adrian is pulling a 9-second gap over Vampy in just 2.5 laps. So, I mean, if Adrian would have been on fresh softs, then yeah, sure, but he's on 7-lap-old softs, so he's not pulling that gap, realistically. I mean, of course he can, I don't know, flip in, push Vampy out. He can deliberately take out Vampy so that he's gonna be in front, but I mean, he's not gonna even build up the gap to Chimp even, I don't think. In the meantime, in front, nothing much really happening. JSTM in the pits retiring, so only 13 drivers at the moment. Zinc is the divider in here in the top. He has the 3-second time penalty. DC and Sir Nikolai don't have. 2 Italians don't have penalties. The one in the Mercedes from Lithuania, I believe, has the penalty. And now DC is going to get overtaken by Zinc, definitely. But now Sir Nikolai as well has tried to go for a move. But Zinc on the inside of turn 7 drifts into turn 7. And now Sir Nikolai could... No, he doesn't want... From... I didn't even... from UK. I don't know from where... no, that's flipping F1 Kid. I completely forgot that Zinc and F1 Kid are 2 different people. I don't... I confused F1 Kid and Zinc, alright? Oi, Clipsy. Watch that. Anyways. As we soon are going to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. Zinc is leading this Grand Prix, but he has a 3-second time penalty. DC is in the net race lead. Nikolai, I mean, we'll see if he's going to get it. If he's going to get that win from P12. May I remind you, P12, DC gets a bit of a shady... exit, but to go into the final lap of this Grand Prix, Nikolai doesn't look like he's getting a good run, but neither does DC, but is gonna get that DRS from Zinc, and maybe he can catch up to Zinc. He's not gonna catch up to Zinc, but neither will Sir Nikolai, so this is pretty much perfect for DC at the moment. Just he needs to keep himself within the white track limits, and he should be golden. Sir Nikolai, don't looks to be in P2, DC in P1, with Zinc's penalty. DC to Russell. No, DC probably won't do it. He is one of the goats of this league. DC, is he gonna go for the on-track race lead? I don't think he will. He's gonna risk a bit too much. That move would have been a bit risky. All those things go sideways all of a sudden in turn 14, and DC is side by side with Zinc. Sir Nikolai can have a good opportunity to sort of try and sneak in front of DC if these two are gonna fight a bit too much. Is it gonna happen? Zinc and DC go side by side into the final corner, but DC is gonna win on track. Yes, he will win on track, and he wins the Grand Prix by 41 thousandths of a second in front of Sir Nikolai. 41 thousandths between the two Italians, DC and Sir Nicolai. What a finish on the final corner. Out of absolutely nowhere, Zink gets a massive snap into turn 14. And all chaos breaks out since Zink and DC are side by side into the fourth and third final corner. And then side by side into the two final corners. And DC on the outside. Zink cuts the penultimate corner. Zink almost got them two on the switchback. I think got Zink on track just about, I think, but didn't get one of the greatest drivers on this grade of this league. The Season 5 champion is officially back with his win. Not an easy win though, but he won it anyways. Wins DC Sazoy, wins the Singaporean Grand Prix. His last win was in Season 5. May I remind, I can't remember which Grand Prix was it, but probably the final Grand Prix it was. But DC Sazoy is back from his cage. Probably will be put back in his cage anyways after this race, but at least got that one race win. One race and that one race win in this season. Sir Nicolai unfortunately has to settle for second. He has to unfortunately settle for second. It would have been a magical win from P12, but he has to settle for second. Unfortunately, Zink P3 after his penalty. It was 15 thousandths between Zink and DC on the line. It honestly, if Zink wouldn't have that penalty, then it would have been 3 drivers within half a tenth. Yeah, the top 3 done. I was talking about them all the time. Vampy P4, Jim P5, Adrian P6 after his 9-second time penalty, Fresh P7, Wave P8, Ricky P9, F1 Kid P10, Chesners P11, Frizzy P12, Trent P13, JSTM 14, Yingleboy 15, Paul 16, Laurie 17, Konsla 9, 18, and then the 2 Red Bulls are Whistleborg and Jono P19 and P20. What a finish that was by Zink and DC and Sir Nicolai on the line. A real photo finish. 15 thousandths between Zink and DC, and then 41 thousandths between DC and Sir Nicolai. But it is DC once again winning. Pilling cards from... had to ruin it for me. You had to ruin it for me. Thank you. Anyways, DC won, at least for now. At least for now, he won it. On track. We'll see if actually that report is going to be on. But yeah, at the moment, DC is the Singaporean race winner. Visible is getting angry at me. Oh no. Yeah. Visible ain't happy with me, I guess. Yeah, and Sir Nicolai had a very good one. Next week, it is gonna be the USA Grand Prix at COTA, Austin, Texas, with a sprint that I absolutely love. I absolutely love that sprint. I definitely don't hate it. Yeah, anyways. It's gonna be a sprint. And yeah. By the way, just a fun fact. Until the Italian Grand Prix, there has been a different race winner, and even if DC will get that penalty, apparent penalty, it's still gonna be another different race winner, a seventh different race winner out of 8 races since F1 Kid won Monaco and Monza. So it is gonna be Zinc, Frizzy, Chimp, Yingaboy, Trent, F1 Kid, and it's gonna be either DC or Sir Nikolai who will win this Singaporean Grand Prix. We'll see though. We'll see. Yeah, like I said, next week is gonna be Kota. My throat is a little bit dead there, especially till the end. Zinc should get the championship lead if my flipping phone can Zinc should get that championship lead over Yingaboy and Chimp, as Chimp scored some points. Kinda enjoy this more since I don't have to worry about anyone else. You can sort of hear that my voice is a bit dying. Yeah, I will just stop it up. And next week is Austin with a sprint. So see you next week. I should be there. If I'm not there, then call me a fraud. Anyways, see ya next week.